Okay, so I'm gonna address the question that Kyle set out, not for me actually, but I felt I wanted to put a word out on this. So the question was how you should eat to avoid what we could call bunking, when you lose energy in the middle of what you're doing and you just feel like exhausted and can't do anything and feel like you need to eat at this moment. Well, it's not uncommon, is it? Most of us have experienced it once in a while. Me, myself, had big problems with low blood sugar and blood sugar rushes once in a while when I was eating a bit differently than I do now. I got really anxious and irritated and didn't really want to socialize when I got that hungry and that so low blood sugar levels. We all respond differently, but for me it was a big problem because I really didn't want to be that person, that annoying person, you know, that's like, oh, we need to eat now, and I don't want to talk to anyone until I've done that. It didn't make me feel good. Since I changed my diet, I haven't had that problem. So now if I'm annoying in any way, it's my true personality, so you know. So what I changed, or I realized, was that it was the blood sugar. That was the big problem. Well, not actually the blood sugar, but how I ate. So I was eating probably like most of you do. Most of my energy came from carbohydrates in different ways. Some of them are called slow ones, and other ones are called fast ones. All of them will be converted to glucose, blood sugar component. And when you eat, the blood sugar will go up when you eat a lot of carbohydrates. When the blood sugar goes up, the insulin goes up from your pancreas to open the gates into the cells so you can store the energy, because the body thinks, hey, I got a lot of energy now, I need to store it for later. So when the insulin goes up and flows out of the cells, basically muscle and fat cells, the sugar will go into them. And as the blood sugar level lowers, the insulin lowers after that. And then you get hungry again. If it goes low enough, you'll start shaking a bit. You might get anxiety driven. You might get cravings. All of those things. You probably experience some of them. We're all different. And then you need to eat again, and you probably eat something. If you're really hungry, you probably put something like maybe a Snickers bar or something in, because you're so hungry and think you need to raise your blood sugar, and then we go again. So you will have an oscillating blood sugar like this, where the red line is the blood sugar, and the green one is basically how the insulin will go. Basically, means saying it's not a perfect chart of this. As you see, when you have the high blood sugar levels, here, here, and here, you'll be quite happy, and maybe you'll feel almost a little bit euphoric, because blood sugars, or glucose, is a very good way of, what's it called, rewarding yourself. It goes straight to the reward system in the brain, makes you feel good about yourself. So when the blood sugar levels drop, you'll get here, downfall, where you feel really bad. And that's probably what happens when you're training. You lose your energy stores, and you get down here where there's no energy left. So how do you get rid of this? Because we need food, don't we? And if you're not going to eat carbs, what do we eat? Fat. Fat. Fat, fat, fat. All kinds of fats, as much as possible, as much as you like. The only thing you have to remember is to get rid of the carbs. Because as long as you have a high insulin level enough, you can't utilize the fats. Because insulin will always drive energy into cells. It's an anabolic hormone made for storing things, growing. So to get the insulin levels lower, you need to lower your glucose levels, because that's pretty much the only thing that drives insulin. So what you need to do is cut out all of the carbs, pretty much. You shouldn't eat more than maybe mostly 50 grams a day. That's a small amount. Probably eating double it or triple it daily usually, as normally. And instead you eat fat, all kinds of fats. Not too much of the processed ones, trans fats and stuff, but clean fats, like from whipped cream, butter, olive oils, you name it. Cheese. Feel free. Indulge yourself in fat. Eat bacon, eat fatty meats, preferably grass-fed ones. I ate cauliflower and broccoli mash with bacon and sausages and cheese today. Thank you, Grant, for the inspiration, by the way. So good and so satiating. It's the best thing. And you don't have to eat as big portions because fat contains pretty much double the energy per unit that carbohydrates does. So you get more energy by eating less, and since it doesn't provoke the insulin levels, you will get a more level response. Of course, you will always have a little glucose in everything you eat, but you will get more of a response like this, where you have a more even blood sugar level all of the day, and the insulin keeps in a lower level because you would provoke it by not eating so much glucose, or carbohydrates pretty much. And you will go into something called keto adaptation, which means the body will make ketones out of the fats, the stored fat. The ketones work pretty much as glucose does for the body. It's a great energy source. And you can use it as, the brain can use it, the muscles use it better. It's a more efficient way of getting energy to your muscles than eating glucose. The only part that can be a bit difficult is when you start eating this way, because you will be used to having glucose coming to your brain, coming to your muscles, and you will not be used to start making ketones. So from the beginning you might feel like you're bunking or being energy exhausted all the time for a couple of days to a couple of weeks, depending on how your body works. Believe me, it's worth it. If you can stand out with the cravings and not go for the bun or whatever you feel like, you will find a new way of living where you pretty much never have to worry about those crazy energy exhaustion times when your blood sugar levels goes really low, and you will feel better about yourself because when you have a constant source of energy for your brain all the time, it's easier to keep your focus, to keep harmonious. And also with high enough levels of fat and cholesterols, you'll be able to make all the hormones you need, keep your cell walls intact because cholesterol is really important for doing that, and also keep the brain cells by keeping them intact, cell walls more intact for like viruses, bacteria, toxins. That must be good, huh? So I would recommend go all for fats, go as low as you can on carbs, and keep your protein source a good one, like grass-fed meats, as I said, fatty fish, chicken, what you can find from your local market is pretty much. So avoiding carbohydrates means not eating any of those vegetables growing underground because they're really starchy, and also avoiding all of the breads, pastas, cereals. Yeah, that's pretty much it. If you want to know more about what you should eat and get some recipes and read more about this, because you shouldn't just trust me, you should read more about it and make your own opinion and try what's best for you. We're all different, and some people might need more glucose or carbohydrates than others. you should go into this address, www.dietdoctor.com. Check that out. You can also go into a site that I will write down, you'll see it underneath this video. It's metabolichealing.com. You can also read more about how your food will affect your body and what might be the best for you. So, low carb, high fat, go for it.